And I think another thing to think about is that you might not be wanting to trim all 4 feet in one night, because it's going to kind of tire you out. So can trim like 2 feet in the night, and then one night, and then maybe 2 feet the next night. So anyway, let's get back here. I'm going to pick up Chico's foot, and we flattened it out. It's nicely balanced now, and now I'm going to bevel this sharp edge on the outside of his hoof wall, and then we're going to pull him forward onto that hoof stand, and we'll do some rasping on the outside of his hoof here. So I'm going to put this between my legs again, between my knees, and I'll just one-handed run this rasp. You can then run it with 2, and I'm going to bevel this foot. And you want to not take more than like half the wall from the distance of the outside to this line where the hoof wall gives way to different structures. They often call this the white line. It's not necessarily white, but that's what it's called. So I'm just going to bevel maybe as much as half of this wall. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to bevel this here, come over to the other side on this inside heel. Beveling that, setting myself up to pull it forward onto the hoof stand. Okay, I'm going to put this foot down, and then we're going to pull it forward. So just try to gauge the distance you need to pull your horse's foot forward, and then you'll adjust it after you get the foot up here onto the stand, depending on how comfortable the horse is. So some people can get away with this just by grabbing the foot and pulling it forward. I think a safer way to do it is to just pick the foot up, grab the toe, turn around, and now I'm going to pull this foot forward. It's less of a surprise to him then, and I think they're a little more comfortable, especially on young horses. It's really helpful. So now I've got the foot forward. You don't want to rasp this natural varnish off the hoof wall more than you have to. So I typically will only rasp about 3/4 to an inch high above the ground surface of the foot. So in other words, you don't want to rasp up here into this upper part of the foot and into the hairline. You want to keep your rasp away from there. You don't want to damage this growth center of the foot here. So we're just going to, you can see there's a little ridge here that runs along the horse's foot, some kind of a break in his foot, maybe a change in nutrition, going from hay to green grass, maybe he had a little fever, whatever. So you can see that little ridge. And that's probably about as high as you want to go with your rasp. But I'd say 3/4 of an inch to an inch. So again, I'm using the coarse side, just kind of taking some of this flare away. You don't necessarily have to do that, and he doesn't really have much, but just pretty much cleaning up the foot here. I'll flip it over and go to the fine side and finish up with the fine side, so you don't have those big marks and gouges from your the coarse side of your rasp. And then just come along here. Some horses will have a lot of flare, or a lot of parts of the foot that kind of flare out and come out, and you want to try to remove some of that. But like I said, you don't want to take more than half this hoof wall off from the ground surface. That preparation we did just a little while ago. So there's the bevel on there, and the foot looks, nice and clean and symmetrical, and that's kind of what you want as an end product. Don't worry about trying to get rid of these nail holes. They're just going to grow out. And he's pretty much ready to go barefoot safely now with a good, hard, horny sole here.